We're going to focus our attention on a Honda water pump here. I got out of the scrapyard last year, I think sometime. Right off the bat here, I noticed it's got some sort of epoxy here, which I'm sure is not holding very well. As we can see, it looks like it's separating. Guarantee you this thing froze. Kind of split right there. And that's probably why the pump got junked. But we actually have one of these pumps with a bad motor but a good pump. So I'm just going to do the old switcheroo if this one runs. But feels like it's got good compression. Do the obligatory oil check here. Somebody's definitely cross-threaded that before. Oh yeah, well, it's right full. And it's good and dark, but it's not completely black, it's just dark brown, so I wouldn't say that's detrimentally terrible oil. But as usual, I'm going to go ahead and dump the oil. I got a bunch of old new oil that I don't want to use in anything else, so it's a great place to use and see. Ooh! Water. This thing sat outside for a while. I don't think that would have been enough water to be a super concern or anything, but definitely glad I dumped the oil now. That smells pretty old. But again, you know, it's not totally black there. It's still got some brown to it, so at least it's not way overused and burnt and stuff. Steal this rag from you, kitty. I did smell the gas last year when I first grabbed it. It smelled terrible then. Of course, I didn't dump it out. Or did I? Oh, it's empty. Maybe I did dump it out. It's still a little wet on the bottom, but... oh, yeah, that smells bad. Maybe I'll pour a tiny bit of gas in there just in case there's a bunch of thick, slimy, crappy stuff at the bottom. Let it dissolve for a bit, and when we're almost ready to start it, then I'll just swish it around and dump it out. Top it up with a little bit of fresh gas. These Honda water pumps are amazing because they actually use a little fuel pump. They're not gravity fed. So you can just shut them off and forget about them, and the carbs never plug up because they don't have gas constantly sitting in there to gum up the works. I come to find that I think a good chunk of why gas actually goes bad is because of evaporation. Have you ever had just like a little container of gas that you forgot on your bench here and left the lid off all night? I know I have, because I was using it to clean stuff. I had about this much gas in a container here, left it open all night, and about half of it was gone. And it was already like dark orange. And then I thought, just for an experiment, I'd just let it evaporate and see how long it would take. After that, the evaporation slowed down, but it kept going, and like by the time it got to just a little layer at the bottom, it was like really thick, and it stunk. It stunk like stale gas. Now I'm sure gas can just kind of go bad over time, you know, but I think most of it is from evaporation, because yeah, you'll have units like this, or gravity fed systems that you actually shut the gas off, and your carburetor will stay good for years. But if you leave that gas on a gravity fed, you're going to have a really plugged up carb in a year or 3. I'm assuming what happens is, you know, in a fuel tank, you really only have one vent just to prevent the tank from building positive pressure or negative pressure. But a carburetor usually always has multiple areas that fuel can vent through. So it actually evaporates faster in a carburetor than it does in a tank. And you get that constant evaporation of the good stuff out of the gas in the carburetor bowl. Because it's a gravity fed system, it's continuously being replenished and maintained at a full level. So I think what happens is all the good stuff continuously keeps evaporating out of that fuel bowl, and just the bad stuff of the gas is left behind. It doesn't evaporate as fast. You start getting a real buildup of that crappy stuff. And eventually it eventually just starts to corrode and plug everything up. That's my running theory anyways. I probably butchered that explanation, but I'm pretty confident this thing will fire up and run with fresh gas. Oh, I wish I would have recorded this. I didn't really think much of anything would come out, but a nice little gurgle of water also came out of this side, and now we can see there's like some chunks. Yeah, that's nice and nasty. You can see that water to oil coagulation, I guess is what you'd call it. That layer of sludge that builds between the water layer and the oil. Alrighty, got her right plumb full of gas. Having a nice gas bath. Hey, we'll even shove the dipstick in there so it cleans it off too, why not? I guess before I forget, I better put a little quick little gurgle in there just to let her soak. While that stuff's soaking, I'm going to pull this plug off, check its condition, and see if we've even actually got spark. Must be lots of humidity in the air today. A little pressure washer. I know the air compressor isn't full of water because the bottom little valve thing there is all rusted and stuff. So it continuously drains. It's like a brand spanking new spark plug right there. Well, you can go... Well, no, we better check the spark anyways, I guess. We could still have some spark delivery issues. I wonder if that'll be a good enough of a ground. Cover the light here. Oh, really good spark. So we can put that back in there. Well, I decided I was gonna want to pop this fuel line off of here. It's all cracked and stuff up here at the nipples, so I figured we might as well eliminate it as a possibility. There's actually some gas actually fell out of here and it smelt fresh, so she already sucked up a little bit there just in the little couple of times I pulled it. That's a good sign. Another issue here is I can't this bar here I believe is squashed down a bit. It was even closer to the engine, but I managed to bend it up a little bit, but that's as far as I was able to get it by hand. I'm looking for my jackal here. Of course I got distracted when I hear a faint clap of thunder in the distance. Cool. Please bring some rain. Come hither. Well, that worked pretty good. We can easily get our air filter off. Yeah, looks a little growed in there, but not terrible. Sure we could get some more miles out of that filter. Well, whatever that thing is, isn't very happy with me for disrupting his home. Came out of there. I wanted to pull this air cleaner off here because I kind of have a suspicion. I think our throttle plate is seized here. I can move the governor rod. All that stuff's working. But this throttle plate just ain't moving. Huh. Wonder what's up with that. Of course everything fell out now. I'm gonna have to take this tank off too. Well, that system's creeping ever closer. And Junior wants to go to the river. Hey? You wanna go to the river? Okay, we'll go for a quick swim. Well, we're finally getting our rain. Nice. Oh, the cows are sure saying it's gonna storm. Holy smoker, she's really blowing out there. Oh. Yeah, there's the reason the cows were calling. That'll give the cars a nice wash. Well, our good old bone melting carb cleaner got this throttle shaft working nicely. And I popped the bowl off just for poops and giggles here, and other than smelling terrible, everything looks good. The needle and seat's moving up and down like it should there. The bowl doesn't look dirty at all, actually. I think our storm's over, Junior. Maybe we could go back to the river and throw a stick or two. Then we'll be able to lug that pump down the river and test her out. Exciting. Well, that was a lot of fiddle frigging around, but we finally got it back together. You got to put a plate between the carburetor and the engine, and then the carburetor, and then another plate that this gas tank is attached to, and then the air cleaner. And you got to hold that all lined up while you try to get these bolts to fish through all that stuff and thread into the block. I'm so confident it'll start, I even put the air filter back in. I don't think she's going to need a prime. I almost forgot about our fuel line here I got to replace. Alright, I just shook her around a bit here. She's been soaking for about a couple hours at this point. It looks like it's already dirty in there. Oh yeah. Nice. Get all that crap out of there. Guess let's watch, make sure we don't see any chunks come out. It doesn't look like it. Open this side up here. Get that last little bit out. Yeah, if you're changing oil on one of these things, you do definitely want to pull both drain plugs. Must be a little bit of a division in there and holds oil on this side too, even if you drain the other side. Now we'll put some random clean oil in it that I got lying around here, and then we'll be able to dump out what's in the tank here, and she'll be ready to fire up. Well, here's the gas that came out of that crankcase. I'm sure some of that is just dirt. We can see the thick stuff though down there. I don't know if those are like, I'm sure some of that's just falling off of because the gas was running down on that frame, eh? No glitter though. That's reassuring. Well, let's see what comes out of that tank. Like I said, I already shook it around and stuff, so I guess I should have found a tripod for this, but whatever, we're getting there. Yeah, she's definitely got some heavy yellowness to it. Right on, I'm replenishing my cleaner gas pail here. She was empty there. I'll have to see if it'll run off that. Oh yeah, this friggin' fuel hose I forgot about again. Well, I gotta pop that fuel hose off again. I didn't realize until I actually grabbed the old hose and looked at it. There's a screen just sitting in the end of it here like this that protrudes into the bottom of the tank. I do want to put that back in. Okay, let's let her rip. Okay, full throttle. No choke. Okay, we're going to give her a shot of gas and see what happens. Well, when you notice a puddle of gas magically forming under the thing, you know something's wrong. And I got to looking right there. I forgot to hook the fuel inlet hose up to the carburetor. She was just pumping gas out on the floor. Okay, test number 2. I might have to take that recoil apart if she actually is a runner. Oh yeah! Sounds like the idle circuit's plugged on it. Guess I should have cleaned the carb. Yeah, she needs choke for idle. But just for poops and giggles, I think I'm going to take it down to the river. And we're going to fill her up with a little water there, put the suction hose on, and see if it actually moves water. I highly doubt it. Having a crack in the housing like that's going to kind of ruin its ability to create a vacuum, so it won't pull the water up the hose. But you never know. Let's see. Boy, sure a beautiful night to work on a scrapyard water pump. Remove our primer fill. Oh, our pail's falling apart. Ooh, the water's warm tonight. Oh, get it in there. Well, we got about half of it in anyway. One more should be enough. It's running out the middle now. Hook up our suction hose. Oh, drop the friggin' primer fill. Plug there. Yeah, that thing must have went right under the pallet. Alright, found my cap. Let's see if it fires up again. Probably one pull. Okay, let's see if she's actually sucking up the water here. Oh, look at that, it actually is. I don't know if you can see that bubble there or not. Okay, it's right here. There, can you see that air bubble slowly traveling out there? I think it's actually trying to prime. Okay, you can tell she ain't running right there with that plugged up idle circuit. It seems like she's a strong runner. That surging action will help her prime better. Oh yeah! The water's traveling. Oh, she's almost at the pump. Get the heck out of that thing's way. I wonder if it'll just bog out once it gets the load of the water going through the pump there. Come on. Oh yeah! It actually pumps. I didn't think it would actually pump. Oh, look at it coming out black. Oh, look at it, it's like sucking that pail right dry. What? That's never happened before. Is it just that high flow? It literally emptied the pail. That's why I was sucking up black there. Maybe a little bit of that river dirt will clean her up. Now I probably just lost our prime and that's it now. Oh yeah, it's gonna start all over again. She's too high flow for Dad's rig there. It like emptied the pail and then it started floating. It's already going again. There, see, it literally sucks the pail right empty. And it doesn't do that with the other pumps. We just had one of the other pumps down here like a few hours ago too. So nothing has changed with that pail. I don't know, maybe I'll try and push it out further or something. Okay, she's almost primed. Thought it was anyways. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, oh, freaking weeds are getting sucked in there. Ooh, are they gonna stop? Oh shoot, that is just loose ones. I guess she's just gonna mince them up. That's doing it. Let her rip. Guess I should have pointed it that way. Now it's just gonna totally flood out the dock here. Okay, there, they're kind of slowing down now. A little bit. That's okay, they'll flush through. There, we got a river flowing into the river here. Circulation. Look at that, eh? That track doesn't even seem to be affecting it. I would have never guessed. Nice. Well, she's been going for a good 15 minutes now. Yeah, she's kind of still not really wanting to idle. Unless the idle stop screw set way too low or something, but there's a little sputtery there coming down, so. But I'd say she's definitely worth a carb clean now. Frick, I just completely sogged this place right out here. Well, it's a few days later. I've fired this thing up a couple of times and ran it for a bit down there. The idle is still not functioning, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean it out. Alright, I removed the throttle stop screw from right there, holding back the throttle, and took out this little chubber from right there, and yeah, it seems like we got some sort of a jet in there. I bet you that's the idle control circuit. I thought it would have like a cutout, you know, to put a flat screwdriver so you could remove it, but it doesn't. I don't know if it's just pressed in there or what. We'd have to take the carb apart and probably push it out from the bottom. But sometimes you gotta try the lazy way. Alright, we'll just let that soak for an hour. Just gotta make sure that stuff doesn't touch any rubber anywhere. Well, now we're getting more on track. I went and screwed something up here. I was trying to cut this little limiter strip off here so that I could unscrew the idle mixture screw all the way out and get some cleaner sprayed in there too. And friggin' snapped the head of that thing right off. So yeah, we do have another pump with a bad engine. I'm gonna see if I can get that air screw off of it. Well, I started attacking it with the Dremel here and started to actually slice through her, and then all of a sudden it just plunked right off. So the heat from trying to grind this must have expanded this and just allowed it to pop right off. Well, that's what our air screw is supposed to look like with no limiter cap. Swap it onto that one. Well, just from comparing these two idle mixture screws side by side here. They look to be about the same. Well, let's see if all our efforts are worth it. No? Nope, she must be plugged up in the bore. Guess I should have just done it right from the first place. Well, a couple of the aerator holes on the center transfer tube, if we'll call it that. The part that is below the actual jet and pops up in the bore right there where the fuel comes out and enters the venturi. Yeah, a couple of the aerator holes were plugged, so that'll make her not run quite perfect. Right here is where the idle mixture needle sticks through, that hole right there. But then you got these three little guys right here. I'm suspecting those are probably plugged up too. So we're just going to go ahead and spray that carb cleaner in every orifice now. Actually, I'm going to take that bowl gasket out if I can, because it'll probably mangle it. And just let that sucker soak for a good, probably the night. And let the jet and all that stuff soak good too, and we'll come back to it tomorrow. Alrighty, well, it's another couple days later. It's time to finally put this carb back together. On the third day here, the solution finally started turning a little green. Mustn't have been very much crap in them jets. Well, I mean, there wasn't, because they all looked basically clean except for that aerator tube thing. There we go, all buttoned back up. I couldn't get this bowl gasket out for the cleaning process, and usually I like to do that because this carb cleaner will destroy anything gasket related. So, oh well, what do? I would have destroyed it trying to take it out, so I thought might as well just leave it. I gave her a good soaking with some ATF. That should do the trick. And this gasket right here I was having a lot of trouble with because it kept trying to fall off. So yesterday I went ahead and used some gasket maker dressing stuff, whatever you call it, to just go ahead and glue it right onto this plate so we don't have to deal with it anymore. Well, I'll slap her back together and we'll see if all these efforts were worth it. Oh, I guess I almost forgot the needle and seat and float. That's minor. Success! Arr. That was giving her. Hose is still stay there. Well, that'll fill a lot quicker than with the garden hose. Yeah, she's almost full. Perfect idle. There, clean the wagon off. There's a lot of water coming out of there. Good job. Total success. Is it raining out there, kitty? Well, I removed the throttle stop screw out of there. Okay, we don't have to yell. What the hell? Oh, that's... this friggin' LED trouble light has a flicker to it, and that's my shutter tripping out on. I was like, what the heck is blocking this thing? Well, that's juicy. Alright, well, where is it? Oops, don't do that. Oh, I lost a gasket, son of a...